anytime we saw somebody, and to thank them for their service. And it was really cool, and so something just kind of stuck with me. And so I thought, let's do a coin. When we started this process several months ago, we weren't sure when this was actually going to get across the finish line, so planning for that was really difficult. And it turns out that to get an actual coin minted takes a really long time, and there was no way we could make that deadline. But we found a company here local that was able to do these on a short turnaround time and to get these coins done. So, and Dawn, who is sick, or she would be here today, she's the one that designed this for us. So can we just get a little applause for Dawn? All right. So these all are all out. Everyone's got one. Okay, perfect. All right. So in talking about this coin, kind of some of the stuff that you see on the coin, in particular, you can see that it says a more company. And just to talk about that for a second, like, why are we calling this a more company? And the reason why we're calling this a more company is because of some of the slogans that you can read on there. That we're going to expect more of ourselves. We want our customers to expect more. There should be amazing customer service that exists in the marketplace. And there's no reason we should settle for less. So let's always have a standard that we as a company, we just expect more. Like, we want to see that happens. The same for, like, as employees, we should work at a place where we expect more from those that are managing, leading, and guiding the company. So in the marketplace, when we think about, like, that name of a more company, I want employees that hear about us, or in the marketplace that are looking for jobs, I want customers that hear about us to know that we're a place that expects more. At the same time, connecting more. Like, we had this little exercise this morning where we had the chance to get to know people a little bit differently. Life is about connections. It's about getting to know people and really caring. And so we're a place that's always going to connect more. And that's something that's never going to stop. So get used to having these little events of getting together, connecting, getting to know people. And the same thing with our customers. Honestly, like, we're not winning if we're not connecting more with our customers than we do today. At the counter, that job, there's a lot going on, but the most important job is, are we making personal connections with customers? Do we understand that it's not just a task, that we're just checking boxes, but we actually care. We actually want to connect with them, get to know them, and understand who they are, and be part of their lives. We're going to give more. We talked about it already, like, we're giving back 10% of what we're making to good causes, but the only way that you can really find joy and gratitude in life is find joy in it is having gratitude and giving back. And so we're going to be a place that gives more. And it's not just to give you back to others, it's giving to each other. It's also giving to our customers. It's just the more we give, the more we get. And the last one is living more. And if we're expecting more, if we're connecting more, if we're giving more, like, we're going to live more. There's more to live for. And so I love the idea of just using a more company. So when you think about it, when someone says who you work for, like, right now we can all say I work for Clegg Auto, and it's a part of a more company. And we're going to spend a lot more time as we go forward talking about a more company. And it's not because I don't love the Clegg name, because it's on my birth certificate and everything else, but it's that part doesn't matter. The part that matters is this idea of doing more in the world. And that's what I hope that we catch that vision. And I invite you all to have that vision of, let's do more in the world. And I'm not going to get all emotional too often, but I will, because that's just part of who I am. And so, you're all right, I'm good. So I invite you to expect more, to give more, to connect more, and to live more, and be a part of this journey that we're on. There's what does that mean? Like, we'll end up finding a way to put the tagline of a more company on our buildings, on our shirts, on things like that, because it'll be the thing that, like, we might acquire a plumbing company and it's called Johnson Plumbing or whatever. Like, keep the name, it's what people know, but it's going to be Johnson Plumbing, a more company. And so that in the marketplace, this idea of employee ownership and owning our lives becomes something that people will attribute to a more company. And that this brand of a more company is what people will really know us by in the marketplace, and people, I hope, will start to say, I don't want any services unless they come from a place like a more company. I don't want to work for any place unless it's a place like a more company. And so it's a big deal. It's something that we're really excited about. We're working with Rushford is a gentleman who helped us with some marketing in the past, and he's helping us with how do we brand up our company, how do we connect it with Clegg Auto. He's actively working on that. I've had a couple of passes with him on trying to figure out how do we get that tagline, what is it going to look like, how do we make it show up and have it look professional and appropriate and all that good stuff. So that is a more company. You also see, like, we have the date 2022. It was hard to pick an actual date because this thing was been moving for 2 years as far as getting it across the finish line. So 2022 is the date that ended up on the coin. You flip it over, you can see that this is about steward ownership, because ownership has connotations of it's mine, and I don't actually think it's very healthy when we live our lives with putting our arms around something where it's like, this is just mine. It's better if we have the idea that ownership is steward ownership, which means I have control over this thing for the moment, and I'm going to make sure that I pass it on to other people, and it's in as good a shape as when I got it. And that concept of steward ownership to me is way more exciting than the idea of this is just mine. And so I think we should get really excited about being steward owners of a company, but also of our lives, that we're gonna own our lives. And then the last piece on here that will connect us into introducing behavior is the 200% principle. We've talked about it a lot over the last 6 months, and we're going to keep talking about it all the time, because it is the most important thing that will help us to actually own our lives. And when we own our lives, then great things will happen in our business, in our homes, and everything else that we do.